Welcome to Top Money Myths with New York Times bestselling author Doug Andrew.
Let's say that you accumulate $1 million nest egg, and it's earning 7.5%. 7.5% on $1 million would allow you to pull out $75,000 a year in interest without depleting your principal, correct? Well, $75,000, that's nice, but hey, you've got to pay tax on that. If this was on top of other income, Social Security or a defined benefit pension, you may end up paying about a third of that in tax. In fact, a married couple filing a joint tax return, making over $68,000, every dollar over that threshold, you're going to pay about 25% in federal tax, and in 41 out of 50 states, about another 7 or 8%. So that means a third of that is going to go out the window in tax, $25,000 in tax. So you're only netting $50,000 to spend. Do you understand that? Well, how much more do you need to withdraw out of a nest egg earning 7.5% in a 33% bracket in order to have a net of $75,000 to spend? Because if inflation is 5%, that will double the cost of living about every 15 years. So 15 years down the road, you're going to need twice this much to have the same purchasing power, to be able to buy the same gallons of gas and loaves of bread, prescriptions, golf green fees, and so forth that you can buy today for $75,000. Well, in a 33% bracket, you have to pull out 50% more. You would have to pull out $112,500 a year out of your $1 million nest egg, pay tax of $37,500. There's your tax. To net what? $75,000, and that $75,000 is only going to be able to buy as much as $37,500 did maybe 15 years ago. Do you see the problem? Well, let's take a $1 million nest egg earning 10%, because I'm going to show you in a minute how many people safely and conservatively have averaged in excess of 10% the last 4 years, probably the worst 4 years since the Great Depression, and they've done it safely. Well, if I had a $1 million nest egg earning 10%, you would think, well, I can pull out $100,000 a year and never deplete my $1 million principal, right? Well, here we go again. We got to pay tax on that. So in a 33% bracket, I'd pay $33,000 in tax, and what am I netting? $66,000. Well, sooner or later, that maybe is not going to be enough to cut it. So how much more in a 33% bracket do I have to withdraw to net $100,000 to spend? If this is taxable, I have to pull out $150,000, 50% more than 100, pay tax of a third of that, $50,000, to the government in order to net $100,000 to spend. Listen close. If you got a $1 million nest egg earning 7.5% and you have to pull out $112,500 to net $75,000, your $1 million nest egg is going to be totally drained dry in 14 years. You're going to be out of money. If you have a $1 million nest egg earning 10% and you have to pull out $150,000 to net $100,000, that nest egg will be totally drained dry in 11 years.